Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, May 31st. This is Gina McGuire. We are not expecting any significant impacts to fire potential this week. However, much hotter and drier weather will occur this week, especially later in the week into the early part of the weekend, with record-breaking heat across the Great Basin, especially across Idaho and Nevada. However, fuels are still moist in most areas, but acceleration of the curing process in the grasses is expected, especially in the lower elevations as we move through later this week and through the weekend. If we look at the overall precipitation over the last 24 hours, the image on the left shows where the rainfall was recorded over parts of southern Nevada, the central Sierra, and southern Utah and the Arizona Strip, which was also accompanied by thunderstorms. This rainfall generally was below 1/10 of an inch in most areas. However, some of the areas under the stronger cells did see up to about 1/3 of an inch of rainfall. Over the last 30 days, most areas of the Great Basin did see some precipitation. However, much lesser rainfall was reported over the last month over parts of the Arizona Strip and into southern Nevada, with healthier amounts further north. However, still over the last 30 days, how this compares to normal, most areas were generally below normal with respect to precipitation, with the exception of parts of southern Nevada, which mainly saw this precipitation earlier in the month of May, and also over parts of western Nevada and the Sierra, and over parts of eastern Utah, which did see above normal precipitation. If we look at the current ERCs across the Great Basin, all areas are seeing ERCs below the 50th percentile. However, as you can see in the arrows inside the circles, ERCs are increasing and will continue to increase fairly rapidly in some areas due to the heat later this week. Live fuel moistures are still near to above average in all areas. However, again, these will be decreasing as well. The water vapor satellite loop from this morning shows a strong ridge of high pressure in the west, which will keep warm temperatures early this week. Along the east side of the ridge, we'll continue to see northerly winds, breezy at times, especially over the eastern half of the Great Basin over the next 2 days, before the ridge moves eastward with lighter winds, much hotter temperatures, and very dry conditions. Today we'll continue to see low fire potential across the Great Basin. However, as the week progresses, you'll start to see drying from south to north as hot temperatures and dry conditions take hold. Today temperatures will remain above normal, with highs generally reaching the 80s to 90s across Nevada, and cooler as you move further north and east across the Great Basin, with generally light to moderate winds. We still will see some breezy winds across Utah today on the east side of that ridge of high pressure. As we move into Wednesday, the ridge pushes slightly eastward and is flattened somewhat by a weak area of low pressure moving over the northern portion of the Great Basin. This will keep temperatures constant over the next 2 days, with drier conditions over Nevada and Utah, and still low fire potential. If we look at the individual components on Wednesday, again, temperatures will gradually be increasing, but only by a few degrees on Wednesday, with dry conditions in most areas. However, there may be a few isolated thunderstorms over the central Idaho mountains as that weak wave moves across the northern part of the Great Basin. As we move into Thursday, this wave starts to move eastward, with still high pressure in the south and low fire potential. Again, temperatures remain somewhat constant on Thursday, with relative humidity in the 6 to 15% range over Nevada and Utah. And again, drier and hotter conditions are expected by the weekend. If we look at the overall amount of forecast precipitation over the next few days, and again, dry conditions expected in most areas, and any thunderstorms that do occur, possibly in the central Sierra or in the central Idaho mountains, will produce very little precipitation. Now looking later in the week and through the weekend, the main story will be this strong ridge as it amplifies further north, bringing very hot temperatures to all areas of the Great Basin, along with lighter winds and very low relative humidity. You can start to see the drying over the southern portion of the Great Basin, and this will spread north as we move through the weekend. The hottest days, especially across Nevada and Idaho, will likely occur Friday through Saturday, possibly Saturday and Sunday on the eastern side of the Great Basin, where temperatures will increase to 10 to 20 degrees above normal and will likely see record-breaking heat over Nevada and Idaho, with lesser chances as we move further east into Utah. Again, very dry conditions continue on Saturday with those hot temperatures. There is a weak disturbance off the California coast on Saturday, which will move north across the Great Basin and open up, and this area of low pressure will likely bring some showers and thunderstorms to the area, especially to the western and northern half of Nevada, into Idaho as we go into Sunday, into early next week. Likely the moisture will be scattered with the lightning, with some areas seeing showers and some areas seeing drier conditions. However, after the very hot temperatures, fuels are still in varying states of curing across the Great Basin. Therefore, we may see an uptick of initial attack. If we start to see some lightning, we may start to see some fires. However, again, the chances for large fires are still relatively low, but are increasing over the southern areas of the Great Basin. Overall forecast amount of precipitation into early Sunday morning. Again, dry conditions continue. Any of that rainfall with the thunderstorms will likely occur later on Sunday and into early next week. Looking further out into June, into the middle of the month, we'll likely continue to see these warm temperatures and also may start to see more precipitation over parts of the northern areas of the Great Basin, but most of this looks like to occur in the form of thunderstorms. Therefore, precipitation amounts will be hit or miss, with still drier conditions continuing over southern Nevada and the southern half of Utah. That concludes our briefing for today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Thank you for listening.